Hey, how's it going? So, thought I'd put together a quick tutorial on something I just don't see a lot of stuff on the internet for. This is how to convert a very low resolution image, or in this case it's a PNG, but it's obviously a screenshot that I had taken from the internet. And you can see heavy JPG artifact and turning it into a high resolution PNG with a transparent background. This is the newest version of Photoshop. I pay for it. It's totally worth it. So let's go ahead and get this open. First thing I want to do is obviously make this a larger image. So we're going to image size, and I'm going to make it, because right now it's pretty small. So we're going to make it much larger, just give it a good size. Well, let's see, 600%, yeah, it's about 1,000 pixels on either side. So that's good. Nearest neighbor, preserve hard edges, that's fine. It doesn't really have to be whatever. Photoshop does its thing, and we still have a very pixelated image here. But what we're going to do, so this is just a technique video. The things I'm going to do exactly aren't going to work for every single, for every image in every case. So what we'll start with is a curves adjustment layer, an invert layer, and what else will work? Hue saturation, right? First thing, probably should have started with the invert layer. This is just going to take, it's white, it's going to make it black, right? Just makes it a little bit easier to work with. And then it turns that olive green into this like kind of a periwinkle or whatever. So the hue and saturation we're going to use to drop the saturation down all the way and give us just black and gray. And then the curves adjustment, we're going to take the highest white point and push it up. And we're going to take the lowest black point and push it up. And that's going to really just accentuate, it's going to push that contrast to the extreme. Looks terrible when you do it to like a portrait, but as you can see, this is going to drastically reduce that JPEG artifact, right? You can move these down a little bit and play around with it if you need to, but for me, this right here is doing good things, right? So I've got that. Now what we're going to do, you can either grab all of these and merge them together, or you can click on the top layer and so you make a new layer from the merge, right? That's, for me, it's Command Shift Option E, or something like that. There's a hotkey for it, but even if you have to merge everything or whatever, it doesn't matter. So you have this right here, right? Now what you want to do is make a new layer, just a blank raster layer, drag it underneath, and this is going to allow you to get rid of the white pixels. Now so that we can see that on the checkered background, because if we get rid of this, we get that checker background, right? So we want to make another solid color layer. This is just so we can see what's going on. Pick any color, doesn't matter. But this is so that when we turn this on, if we double click on this and we use the blend if of this layer, so we're taking this current layer and we're removing the white pixels, literally dragging it the smallest amount, automatically starts to get rid of those pixels. You can see that. If you hold Alt and you click on this little slider, you can drag it apart and make some more detailed and precise movements. Really, you're just looking to get rid of that. So if I do that there, that's going to give me about 2 pixels worth. As far as if you're looking at this as a piece of pixel art, like this, you're going to get 3. So it kind of just, you know, if you put it back together, it stays back together. So I think right about here looks pretty good. Okay. Now you notice there's still black and white pixels, right? But we've got a solution to that. If I were to start my next step, right, and I'm going to do this wrong on purpose, do solid color of black. If I were to clip this layer right here, you see that it clips to everything. It doesn't matter about the blend if, right? If I try and rasterize this by itself, what that's going to do, well, it's already rastered, right? If I try to convert it to a smart object and then rasterize it, that's going to work perfectly, actually. Didn't know that. I learned something. The reason I create this layer underneath is if you merge these together, it does the same thing, just immediately rasterizes it. So maybe that's a quicker way of doing it. Didn't know converting to and from a smart object worked. Anyway, so if you take your solid black layer and you clip it, now look at that. Take all those white pixels and it's just become pretty much a big piece of pixel art. So we started here, now we're here, okay? Now if you want, there are a couple other things you can do. Now for this particular image, what we're gonna do is turn that off. We're gonna make another combined layer above, just that way we don't have this layer and this layer, so we just have rasterized pixels, right? I'm gonna grab our brush, set it to pencil. Okay, and we're gonna take the black and we're gonna just touch this up a tiny bit. So click and hold shift and you can drag sideways and get those kind of perfect pixels. Same thing with the eraser. If we use the brush, we can click, drag, and then we've repaired those little bits of the pixel, right? But we don't want this to be a piece of pixel art. So there are a couple of other things we can do. Now, this works best if it's on a white background, but you can add a stroke of inside white pixel, and then the more you add, the more it thins that line out, right? So we'll say maybe, I don't know, 3 pixels looks pretty decent in terms of thinning out the thick black lines that we had, right? Once again, what we need to do is combine these into a single raster layer, right? So we took that white background and we're gonna do the same thing. New layer beneath it, take this and blend if, get rid of those white pixels, merge them together. This time we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing and merge it together. And now if we create another solid layer underneath it, we have solid black pixels with a more thin kind of line. Now it's still there's no anti-aliasing, and it's very difficult to put that on there. Anti-aliasing are the pixels that kind of move toward being more and more transparent to make it look less blocky and pixelated. One really good way I found to get rid of that is to command click on a Mac. Don't know what it is on a Windows, figured out. Select your thumbnail. Then if you create a solid color adjustment layer of black or whatever color you're using, then you double click on the mask icon itself and increase the feathering just a little bit. Now you got your anti-aliasing. So it just goes from this jagged edge to this. Now, it's still a piece of pixel art, right? And so it was pretty difficult to get rid of that actual, pixel style. But we did the best we could. Take these and once again, merge them together. Now you've got that whole thing. So we went from this to this. And then of course, if you select it, hit C, do that, now you can save it as a pure PNG. So hopefully that has helped somebody out. That's something I had to figure out on my own, and it was an absolute nightmare to do. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Yeah, there we go. Cool, huh? Anyway, I should note as a disclaimer, please do not use this technique to steal other people's work. Don't use it to steal things online or try and remove watermarks, because that's a crappy thing to do. Pay artists for their work, because this is pretty difficult to do.